Hi there. In the last video, I showed you the clinical thinking system, the four-step process that helps nurses think clearly during a home health visit. But a lot of nurses will watch that and think, well, okay, but what does that actually look like in real life? So in this video, I'm going to walk you through a real CHF home health visit and show you exactly how to apply the clinical thinking system step by step so that you can see how it turns a normal visit into a structured Medicare-ready documentation. No theory, just real application. So let's assume I'm visiting a patient with congestive heart failure. This is a very common scenario in home health, and it's also one of the highest risk diagnoses for hospitalization. So during the visit, I'm not just doing tasks, I'm actively using the clinical thinking system in real time to guide what I notice, what I ask, and what I document. As I enter the visit, the first thing I'm doing is observing clinical reality, not just patient is sitting in a chair, vital signs taken, but I'm paying attention to breathing effort at rest, ability to speak in full sentences, activity tolerance, walking short distances, and any visible swelling in lower extremities. Patient's overall fatigue level compared to the prior visit. The key here is not just documentation yet, it's simply collecting clinical signals, because good documentation starts with accurate observation and not just writing. Now I compare what I'm seeing today to what I expect for this patient. I ask, what is different from the last visit? In this CHF example, patient reports increased shortness of breath with minimal activity, more frequent rest breaks during movement, and slight increase in lower extremity swelling compared to the last visit. This step is critical because Medicare is not just looking for conditions, they're looking for change over time. Change equals clinical relevance. Now I'm start the interviewing what this means clinically. So I'm asking, does this suggest worsening fluid retention? Is this increasing the risk of hospitalization? Does this require ongoing skilled monitoring? Is this something the patient can manage independently? So in this case, the increase in shortness of breath and edema suggests potential fluid overload progression in a CHF patient, which increases the risk of acute exacerbation and hospitalization if not closely monitored. This is where most nurses struggle, not because they don't know the answer, it's because they were never trained to think this way during the visit. Now I'll translate everything into a structured documentation. Instead of writing something like, patient seen today, no distress noted, education provided, here's what it looks like with the clinical thinking system. Patient demonstrates increased shortness of breath with minimal exertion compared to the previous visit, requiring frequent rest periods during short distance of ambulation. Bilateral lower extremity edema appears increased, indicating potential fluid retention and progression of CHF symptoms. Patient remains at high risk for exacerbation and hospitalization, requiring ongoing skilled nursing, assessment, and monitoring. Education provided regarding daily weight monitoring, sodium restriction, and early reporting of symptom changes. Patient verbalized partial understanding and requires continued reinforcement. So, notice something important here. I didn't write more. I didn't try harder. I simply followed the clinical thinking system in real time. Observe, identify change, apply reasoning, and document clearly. That structure is what turns a routine visit into a strong clinical documentation. Most nurses think documentation is something you do after the visit. But in reality, the quality of your documentation is determined during the visit and how you think in real time. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to take this same system and apply it across different types of home health visits. So you're not just learning CHF, you're learning a repeatable way to think for every patient. And if you want a full breakdown, you can download the clinical thinking system in the description below. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you on the next one.